Next is metal handles. And this piece here is titanium. I bought this when I was going to make a completely corrosion-proof knife. This was a long time ago. Then I found out about galvanic corrosion and looked into that. I'll talk about that in a second. But so having a metal handle, there is a lot of knives out there that have aluminum. There is a lot of like folding knives that have, they'll have titanium too, stuff like that. But fixed blades, mostly what I've seen is aluminum. And the positives to having a metal handle is that it is very durable. Impact resistance wise, it'll deform instead of like chipping or breaking, things like that. You have to do your own texture on it, either the shape or basically the like cutout stuff like that, or ribs, like ribbing of I don't know how to explain that exactly, but you have to do your own texture, your own grip on the knife, because if you smooth this out, it'll be like super smooth. So there is that. Another thing is, if you, just because of the weight, regardless of if this is titanium or aluminum and all that, it is still slightly, from what I remember, all these are still slightly heavier than like G10, which I think would be the heaviest of the synthetic materials I have. They are heavier, so you do have to incorporate that weight into whatever design you're making. So if you want something well balanced, you have to understand that it's going to be more tilted towards the handle if you're going to use materials like this. The major flaw that I found out is basically galvanic corrosion. So when you put two metals together and they're introduced to an electrolyte, whatever metal is more corrosion proof will cause the other metal to corrode faster. So even some metals that normally do not corrode will be made to corrode. So if I pair this up with stainless steel or any type of steel, just from tests I've done, except H1, I haven't had a definitive test on that. But if I pair this up with any steel, this titanium will cause that steel to corrode. So that is one of the problems. That's the reason when I talked about G10 not being conductive, that's the reason I see it as a plus. So carbon fiber will do the same thing. Carbon fiber will because it is conductive, it will cause steels to corrode. Aluminum, same thing. If you pair it up with a stainless that is more corrosion proof than the aluminum will begin to corrode, even though aluminum by itself does not corrode. So yeah, that's like one of the main problems. As an example, and this is one of my first knives, so don't be harsh. So this is pure silver, basically. I melted this, and then I made a form out of wax, and then I melted this in a crucible, and then poured it into a sand mold. So not the greatest pour, but this is one, like I said, this is one of my first knives. Yeah. So this is a CPM 3V. So yeah, this is the knife. Okay, so just like I guess one of the weird things of working with metal, I've seen white sparks come off of this thing, which is kind of odd. This is still hard to work with titanium, even though you know, it's well, there's different types of titanium, but it's still pretty hard to work with. Even though in my mind, I didn't expect it to be that hard, but it's still okay to like polish and stuff like that, basically. And then for silver, yeah, it is just, it's very, very soft and very heavy. So yeah, that's not much. That's not much of something weird, but yeah.